Music is a great way to connect with your audience. This week, we're specifically talking about soundtracks. That's right, movie soundtracks or scores that we would rank in our top 5.
Pour the coffee.
Top of the mustache to you, and welcome to another episode of Mustaches and Coffee. Where the topic goes, nobody knows. I'm Isaac.
I'm Ben.
This is Seth.
And we're glad to have all you mustache and coffee lovers with us. And welcome in as our guest today, Seth. How are you doing?
Doing quite well. How are you guys today?
Not bad.
I'm doing great. And we're excited to have you with us because
welcome back.
You were on
Feels
before. Yeah. You were with us before and we had a great time. So we're like, we got to have you back on for some music. You know, that's one of your strong suits. So we're so happy to have you with us. And before we jump into it, let's just catch up a little bit like we normally do. So as our guest, Seth, we'll ask you, what's brewing in your life?
Oh, I've got a lot of projects brewing. Slowly taking them one by one, but it's been a lot of fun. Getting back into the music, that's been crazy, but a lot of fun.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great to be busy with projects. So, Ben, what's brewing in your life?
I just found out my cat was hiding in our closet behind me. It just randomly came out. So, yeah, our mascot, he's back, Mr. Toothless. He's just in here. Yeah, so I actually had something fun happen today.
Okay.
As some of you may or may not know, there's actually a movie being filmed in Cincinnati this coming week, and I actually signed up to be a extra on that movie. So we'll see if they call me, but
Really? So you signed up and they're like, we'll be in touch with you kind of a thing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's you send some headshots, some photos, and if they need you, they pay you for the day and everything. I told them I'm only available this coming Wednesday. They're shooting it down at the Union Center terminal down in Cincinnati, where the Hall of Justice is, for 2 days. So we'll see. Would be awesome though.
Very nice. That is exciting. Wow. And rumor has it that's the Superman movie. Is that correct?
That is correct. It's Project Genesis. So when the application said Project Genesis on it. So yeah, it's the Superman movie.
That's like a short-lived title. They'll probably change it again.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. So, well, very nice. I don't know if I can top that. It's just been kind of like with Seth, just projects I'm working on. Just to let everyone know, I've in the past said I've been getting into voiceover work, that type of thing. I just launched my website here recently, and that also includes this here, the Mustaches and Coffee podcast. So we actually have a website. It's kind of exciting that now you can find us. We are it's spelled LADX Media. It should be ladexmedia.com. Go to / mustaches and coffee. That's where you can find us. Or if you just go to the main page, there'll be a link there. But yeah, it's just been projects like that I've been working on and seeing it all come together. It just kind of is nice to kind of sit back and reflect on your work. So nothing like getting a chance to star in a movie, or not star, but be an extra. That's pretty awesome, Ben. So
yeah, we'll see.
All right. That's a lot brewing going on there. So, well, with that being said, we've caught up, but let's go ahead, jump into our main topic. Movie soundtracks. We listen to them as the movie goes on, specifically called the movie score. It can be very memorable as we reflect back on certain movie scores. So we thought we got to give a top 5 personal favorite movie score. So as we mentioned, we've got Seth with us. So can't think of a better way to kick things off. Let's start with you, Seth. What is your number 5?
At 5, I've actually got "Catch Me If You Can" by John Williams.
Oh man, that is. How did I forget that one? That is a very good score. I mean, it's John Williams, but it's got the what's the instrument I'm thinking of? It's very subtle.
I don't know what instrument that is actually. It could be a lot of different things. I don't
It
know.
could be.
Yeah, I could do a quick rendition of it, but I don't know if that would be copyrighted or not.
Unless they sound exactly like you.
That's the problem. We're doing a music topic, but we can't play sample with the copyright infringement, I guess. But I can imagine it. I know exactly, but it's like a stringed. Oh man, I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
that was so catchy. That's a
Cowbell.
really
I think it might be the Vibes, which is like the xylophone, but like the heavy wooden. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
Glockenspiel?
And
I
then
think
they
so.
do strings on top of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I think that's
sounding.
how it goes. Don't quote me on that.
It sounds like yeah, it's something like that. I just we'll probably mention him multiple times, not just another time, but John Williams. Just have so much respect for that guy. He's
Right.
got so much under his
His
resume.
Yeah, I was gonna say his resume.
I mean, he's like the definition of like, I want a an orchestra conductor.
Yeah.
I don't think you could top the guy. He's just fantastic. So I can't believe I forgot Catch Me If You Can was done by John Williams. That's a terrific pick. Very nice.
I'm gonna have to look that up. I kind of forget about that one.
Yeah. It's just very catchy, just very it fits the movie very well.
Mhm.
That's what I would think of a good score. It just really fits the movie. So excellent pick. That's a great way to start things off. So let's go to Ben. What is your number 5?
So I have number 5, if my cat doesn't distract me, Inception from Hans
Uh-huh.
Zimmer.
Ooh, nice.
So
Yeah.
that one, I actually had the soundtrack for that downloaded, and I remember I'd still listen to it from time to time. It has the music is just awesome. You can just kind of escape in it. And one of my top favorite movies of all time has to be Inception.
Yeah. That's a great pick. I think that might have been one of my honorable mentions. I had a pretty close to my top 5, but not quite. But I totally agree. We actually saw that movie together. And
Back to back, I believe.
yeah, I think you were the one asking me questions as it was happening.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on here?
Because they say that there was like 2 people when you go see Inception. There's one that's just locked in, and then there's one person like, why did that happen? What are they doing? What's this? It's a fun time. Not to pick on you there, but yeah, that's what I remembered. I was like, yeah, this is a great soundtrack. Hang on, Ben, I'm trying to watch this movie.
Like, what? Yeah.
Yeah, there's some good memories with that one, but great pick. That's another good way to start it off. So my number 5 is a movie I almost think keeps getting forgotten, but I love this movie. It's called The Mask of Zorro by James Horner. He was the composer.
Ooh.
It's got that, Spanish Mexican vibe. It's just I don't know, it's just really well done. And again, it really matches the tone of the movie and the action. Like the action sequences match well with what's being composed, the score.
Mhm.
So I've always liked that movie, and it seems like a really, like I said, underrated movie, but I know a lot of people like it. It's just I don't know, people kind of forget about it, it feels like. So I was like, I got to give some props, throw this out as my number 5 because I really enjoyed the movie. A lot of that being the
Mhm.
score. So that's my number 5.
That's the one with Antonio Banderas, right? If I'm
Oh,
saying
yes.
that right.
Correct,
Yes, I
correct.
love that movie.
Yes.
Great movie.
They made a sequel, and that one wasn't bad, but I liked the first one better. The first
Oh
one's
yeah, I
just
forget about that.
yeah, it I don't know, there's just something about it, and, my favorite line I know we're doing scores, but I do like to quote movies, but since you brought up Antonio Banderas, my favorite is Anthony Hopkins is kind of his mentor, and he's just like, and then you will be able to get your revenge. And the line from Antonio Banderas, like, I like that part. So I always say that's a line I'll quote under my breath. But anyway, getting back to movie scores, let's move on to Seth's number 4. What you got?
At number 4, I have Jaws. John Williams again.
Yes.
Mhm.
I don't even know what to say to that. What do you what does anyone have to add to that? I mean, that's just like legendary, right?
Yeah, that's a big hitter.
How does it go, Seth?
Oh, am I allowed
Okay,
to?
I don't know if people know that theme.
All right, I'll
The
play the shark. You play the conductor. Ready?
No, that's a great.
Your shark impression is killer.
Yeah, it just needs the Jaws theme to go with it.
Yeah.
That's all it
I
was lacking.
know.
Dun, 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 dun,
Oh
dun.
yeah. What is there to say about it? That's a great pick. Yeah. I mean, again, John Williams, but that kind of defined would you say that kind of defined blockbusters, like having a good theme song to go with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just great pick. So all right. Well, Ben, we're back to you. What's your number 4?
I know how much you guys like Claus. I'm gonna totally mess up his last name. Badelt, Claus Beldelt, and also Hans Zimmer. So, anyways,
Oh,
they
okay.
wrote the Pirates of the Caribbean theme.
Uh-huh. Pirates of the
Very,
Ca-
very, very catchy. I have a good friend of mine. He plays violin, and actually, he knows the whole theme. So sometimes randomly he'll
Wow.
break it out.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a great soundtrack. Just it, again, matches the pirate theme of action. Like it does make you feel like you're on a boat and water's hitting your face. You know, you could almost put that as like, have you ever done that? Like you're driving and you have that playing.
Um,
It's a great theme to be playing while you're driving. Just like feel like you're on a voyage, even though you're in a car. So I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. I don't know.
Yeah, well, you know.
Well, my number 4 is just I like the overall score of this movie. Another one that's not really seems like it's well known, but it's called The Saint, and I can't say the composer's name. It's like Grameen Ravel. I think that's how you say it, but
Sounds right.
it's a thriller. It's about this guy. He's like a thief. He's kind of like a spy in a way. He steals information for ones, and it was based off of a TV show.
Mhm.
So it has that theme from the TV show, but I like the score. It's just, well done. Again, it matches the movie. I'm all about, I've seen movies and I don't know, sometimes the score is off because it doesn't match the tone that the movie's going for. I think it's vital. Like it throws me
Yeah.
off. So yeah, I gotta throw that in there. That's one that I appreciate. Just it really adds to the movie and its tone. So that's my number 4.
I gotta say that hits me in the feels. That was a big movie for me, and I had a friend that had both soundtracks, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's a big one for me. That I probably watched that movie at least 50 times.
Got the Val Kilmer in there too. He played
Yeah, one
the
of his
role.
best.
Yeah, because he was big. He was so big back in the '90s, and
Oh, yeah.
maybe that's why I got forgotten. Is all his other movies in the '90s kind of overshadowed it or something? But yeah,
Batman.
yeah. The other soundtrack is great too, like you mentioned. Kind of a lot of
Yeah,
techno
yeah,
vibes, like the '90s was.
but it's really cool music. It's not like
Yes,
cheesy.
yes. It's not like "Come on, Ride a Train," like not like that.
Ah! Space Jam.
Yeah.
I had that soundtrack.
Hey, don't knock Space Jam. If we were doing a soundtrack, I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Like that might be in my top 5. I don't know.
That'd be up there a little bit.
I don't know. It had a pretty decent soundtrack, but yeah, not any of the cheesy techno. So yeah, the score was great, but even the soundtrack was great. I had to make that a mention as my number 4, just me personally. So we're already tapping into the top 3. So we're back to you, Seth. What is your number 3?
Now I got to ask you a question. If I say 1989 and I say Danny Elfman, you would say
Ben?
The Simpsons.
You wouldn't be wrong.
No.
Later on, but anyways.
But also, he scored a little movie called Batman.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
And
The
that
original.
soundtrack actually
Yes.
influenced one of the songs that I've written for like a classical guitar. So
Oh, really?
that's actually a big song for me.
Ow, sorry.
The main theme for
That's
that.
attacking me.
Cat doesn't like Batman, I guess. What's
I guess not.
what, like the whole soundtrack you said
Oh
influenced?
yeah, the soundtrack's great. Yeah.
Like the whole thing is what's helped inspire you. You said you
Well,
have that song.
the main theme is what really
Oh, okay.
influenced me, but the whole soundtrack was great. And I'm not gonna. I hope I don't steal any thunder from you guys, but like generally speaking, the Batman themes are really good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think you can go wrong with that one. That's the original, and it's so memorable. That was such a smash back then, and a lot of it is that theme song in the score. So
Yeah,
totally with you. That's a great pick.
and the
And
soundtrack's good too.
yeah, doesn't Prince have
Prince
a lot
has
of?
2 or 3 songs on there. Yeah,
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 and I thought his music video had some clips from it back when, artists that would lend, they would put the movie themes in their music videos.
yeah.
Kind of miss those days a little bit. It's kind of sad, but that's just how it is. Okay.
I miss music videos.
Yeah, seriously, right.
I want my MTV. Yeah.
It's just sad. Oh man, yeah, it just makes me miss music videos. Period. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, those
Pop-up
power
video.
ballots and all this stuff. Yeah. Oh, at least we got YouTube, right? We can go back and
Yeah,
relive
true.
them.
Very true.
But I do miss new videos, though. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
kind of sad. Okay, well, hopefully Ben can cheer us up a little bit. What's your number 3?
I hope. Let's see if you recognize it. Da 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 da. Anyways, that was a terrible rendition of it. It's the Avengers theme.
I was guessing something else.
It's like, is that a Space Odyssey?
I thought it was James Bond.
Kinda, yeah. Yes. That's the
Oh.
Avengers theme by Alan Silvestri, if I'm saying
Great
his name terribly
soundtrack.
wrong. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the theme, what I'm thinking of is da 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 da.
Yeah. Well, I must be tone deaf. That's what I tried to do, and it didn't turn out. My memory's a little fuzzy, when I get at this age, it just kind of goes, woo.
And I totally heard, I don't know if you've seen The Croods, the
Oh
little
yeah.
sloth named Belt. He goes, dan, dan, dan. That's kind of how you did it.
I need my
That's the vibe.
practice.
So I was like, is it Space Odyssey or is it The Croods? I was trying to figure it out there.
Oh my goodness, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great theme. Yes.
Yes.
Avengers is just, it took over. So everybody heard that theme, and it another great score that matches a superhero movie and action and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You just gotta crank it.
Yes, you have to crank it. That's a great, like, epic entrance music, I think, if you're going somewhere. That would be, I've heard that question, like, what would be your theme song when you enter a room? I think that would be mine. Like, just throw in Avengers, that's perfect. But what you said, that composer, he's actually my number 3, but it was a different movie. So Alan Salverdi, I think, or however you say his last name. But he's more, if he's not famous for the Avengers, he's famous for that 80s trilogy of Back to the Future. That's where he also did. And that's just super memorable to me. That it, again, I'll just use it over and over again. It matches the movie so well. I mean, that theme, when it's playing, I see Marty McFly in a DeLorean doing 88 miles an hour going back to the future. That's just ingrained in me. So I don't know what else to say about it. It's a memorable theme. It's got a great score throughout the trilogy. So that's my number 3. Kind of funny we have the same composer at number 3 though.
Yeah.
So, okay. We got all the way to number 2. So we're back around to Seth.
At number 2, I have might be surprising, Pink Panther by Henry
Uh,
Mancini,
Uh,
and I have that one on vinyl, so I'm a
ooh,
big
nice.
fan. Yeah,
oh, that's so good.
yeah.
So good. That's a classic.
I've got a little bit of everything in mine.
Oh yeah.
Yours is
Roll.
solid, man. My goodness. I'm looking back at mine like, man, I missed on some of these, but no
No,
disrespect.
they've
I
all been
love
good. They've
mine.
all been good. I've just
I
got
love
variety for sure.
you're hitting
I'm
on
I'm a
all of them.
big believer in all types of music should be introduced. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember watching that movie. Little side note. When I was a kid with my dad, the Pink Panther movie, and I was like, "All right, we're gonna see the Pink Panther," because they had the TV show at the time, like later on in the '90s, and
Mhm.
they're like, "Yeah, it's about a diamond." I'm like, "What?" I was like so disappointed. I'm like,
I
"This
remember
is
having very
yeah."
similar
Yeah.
feelings when I was little too.
Yeah, there's all those cartoons, and that's what you love as a kid, and then it's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, we're
yeah.
gonna watch the movie," and it's just a diamond. Yeah, Pink
Sorry,
Panther.
my cat got me.
No, that's so great, and speaking of, my kids have been getting into those cartoons. They love them, and that theme song, yeah, the music and the cartoons are fantastic, but the movie, yeah, just great.
Mhm.
That's a wonderful pick. I can't believe I kinda forgot about that in a way, but I would have made that an honorable mention if I didn't put it in my top 5, so great pick there.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah. So let's go to Ben. What's your number 2?
All right, so my number 2 is surprisingly not my top 1, but it's the Jurassic Park theme song from John Williams.
Surprising indeed. I was
Yeah.
thinking that was gonna be your number 1. Okay.
I did too. I thought that was going to be your number one too.
Such a awesome, iconic sound.
Oh, it's yeah. It's,
It's very nostalgic. Yeah. Yeah.
and we mentioned John Williams. I knew we were gonna bring him up again, and that's just up there. You know, he's just responsible for so many themes, so many movie soundtrack scores that I don't know. It's like you can't go wrong, honestly.
Mhm.
If you were to mention, I mean, Catch Me If You Can, that's such a great one too. I mean, like you mentioned, but yeah, just go through the list. It's just so amazing his resume. But I'm with you. Jurassic Park's
Mhm.
it's up there. So my number 2 is I've got to show it some love. I know it's a big movie. Everybody knows this one, but it's The Lion King by Hans Zimmer. And
I didn't even think that.
it's just I don't know, it just is so well done. Again, the score just drives that movie. That movie is kind of universally loved. It seems like it's one of those bigger Disney movies, but I don't know if it would have that same feel if the soundtrack wasn't. It just I don't know, it really captures Africa and the
Mhm.
sense of you're with these animals, these lions and stuff. So I don't know what else there is to say about it. It's just a memorable soundtrack score. And of course there's music and songs like a Disney movie is, but just the actual score, I love it. It's just
Yeah.
great. So, but yeah, that's my number 2.
Very nice.
So, here we are. This is it. We've gone through our list, but we have not given our number 1. So, Seth, you have the honors. What is your number 1?
So the number one that I picked is a personal favorite of mine for movies. It's not my favorite movie, but the soundtrack. And I know Ben has probably never heard of this movie before, but I think I let you borrow it, Isaac, a long time ago. Cassandra's Dream by Philip Glass. This
Yeah.
movie
Never heard of it.
is a suspense thriller, and the heavy strings and cello are amazing,
Hmm,
just amazing. It makes you like glued to what you're watching.
okay.
I'll
I
have to
love
check it out.
yeah, I'll have to you know what? You said you lent it to me, but I'm trying to remember. That's terrible, right? Maybe I need to revisit that then. If you lent it to me, I know that you're like, "This is something you gotta check out." So, I will make
It's a
sure
good
to
movie, but the soundtrack is way better than the movie, in my opinion.
okay,
Yeah,
but I trust
you can
you, though.
listen to it. You can listen to it on Spotify.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
add it right now. Actually, when I get a chance, I'm gonna add it and make it my next listen. So appreciate it. I love getting new ad requests and things like that. So okay, that's a solid top 5. I'm just gonna commend you though on that. That's
Well,
like
thank
really
you.
good. Okay. So
Everybody
there's
clap
Seth.
for Seth. Clap for Seth.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So there's Seth's top 5, but now let's round out Ben's. So what do you got at your top spot?
Okay, so a little backstory for this. I got to see them, what was it? Last October, an actual orchestra play this. So
Mm,
this is why it is I had to kind of move it up. It would have been Jurassic Park, but when you see this with a live orchestra, and
mm,
I had a video of it, but the audio was not real good. So it is the Star Wars theme, the first Star Wars movie
mhm. Yes.
with a live orchestra. That's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, that you could say Star Wars is number 1 and just to say good night, everybody, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's such a classic and defining theme. Again, John Williams, and it's
Yeah.
just, oh man, see that live. Yeah, that so they played the movie and it was an orchestra over it,
Yep.
right? That
A whole movie.
those are
Yeah.
so cool. That I don't know why they didn't do those earlier. It's like within the last
Mhm.
few years they've started doing that and they're
Yeah.
so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
awesome.
It's just it brings the movie even more alive, I guess is the way to put it. So to go along with yours, Ben, my number 1, I also saw this movie with a live orchestra. But even if I didn't, this would be my number 1. But it's not any surprise. It was your number 2. Jurassic
Yep.
Park is
Yep.
my number 1. So I didn't comment too much on it if you notice. I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna let you bring out anything." But, oh, man, I could gush about the soundtrack. Like Seth said,
Yeah.
it's so memorable, so much
Mhm.
nostalgia.
Oh, yeah.
Man, again, you can't go wrong with John Williams, but I have to say it's his best one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Star Wars is great too. You can't go wrong with those. It's just oh man. I think it's just that movie was kind of mind blowing when you first saw it anyway. The
Mhm.
special
Oh,
effects,
yeah.
seeing dinosaurs, all this stuff, and that score just how do you imagine it being any better, right? Like,
Yeah,
how can
really.
you imagine that? And like I mentioned, we saw it live like you did with the orchestra, and oh man, it's so cool. It's
I'm
just
sure if I did that, I'd probably switch my answers real quick, so
I don't know. Star Wars would be pretty amazing though too. So I don't blame you for making that your number 1 because oh yeah, yeah. That's our public service announcement. If you've not seen an orchestra live with maybe your favorite movie, it could be any movie really. Just go see it. I want to do more of those. I just haven't had a chance. So all right, that's our 5. But let's maybe throw out some honorable mentions because making a top 5 that's no easy feat, right? We got to throw in some of our other favorites. So Seth, what are some maybe honorable mentions just to through the few to throw in there?
I'm gonna throw out real quickly. Okay, so I have just honorable mention. A New Hope is definitely on there for sure. And then I'm gonna throw out some regular soundtracks, if that's okay.
Go for it.
Saturday Night Fever, my favorite movie of all time, Midnight in Paris, Blues Brothers, Garden State, and School of Rock.
Mm, that's another great. That could be like a top 5 right there of just normal soundtracks. So that's awesome.
And I've
Great.
got others, but I don't want to take up all the time.
Hey, you never know. We might revisit this at some point. So
Okay.
that could be a part 2, right?
Okay.
Maybe we go and see some of these orchestras live with movies, and then we can
That would be
readjust
awesome.
our list. So, yeah, any honorable mentions you have there, Ben? Just off
Yeah.
the top of your
I
head?
got a couple, and I think Seth mentioned it, Seth or you, Isaac, the Back to the Future soundtrack is awesome, and
Yeah.
then, Indiana Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, how could we forget
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
That's great. That's another one that's like, you could almost make that your entrance theme to a room.
Yes.
Yeah, so again, John Williams. You know what? For honorable mention, I'm just gonna say John Williams,
John
period. Like,
Williams.
And for
don't
honorable
need
mention, I got to say also a shout out to Hans Zimmer because I didn't put him on my
yes.
list, but
Yeah.
he's probably my favorite musical composer for movies.
Yes. I mean, that's my number 2 with Lion King, but he's done
Yeah. He's
so
amazing.
many, yes,
Amazing.
Mhm.
so many good ones. I mean, and okay, this sounds awful. He did Inception, right? That sounds terrible of me to
Hans
say.
Zimmer, yes.
Yes. So I mean, that was Ben's number 5. So another one that's in a top 5. Yeah, Hans Zimmer, John Williams, and Hans Zimmer. I think those are
Yeah.
tops for me
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
yeah. He did the Interstellar soundtrack also. Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, yeah. I
Another
think
movie
Christopher
that I was
Nolan snatched
confused
him up.
about. What is going on here? What? So let's see. They go this way, and they go carry the one. Yeah, yeah. It was just yeah.
Ben was confused with dreams, and then he was confused with space travel and time. He just couldn't.
Interesting concepts.
Yeah, yeah. Christopher Nolan just he was like, okay, you're mine now. He snatched up Hans Zimmer, and he did a few of
Oh
his
yeah.
movies. So I don't blame him though. But yeah, my honorable mention, I'm just gonna say John Williams. It's like pick one. Like seriously,
Yeah.
you can't go
All of
wrong.
them.
Yeah. I mean, I can't think of one that wasn't bad. And I had Inception on there, and Pirates of the Caribbean, Star Wars. One that we didn't mention was I love Finding Nemo. Just wonderful soundtrack. It's kind of got the jazz, even though it's like water and fish. I mean, who would have thought those kind of go hand in hand? But it's got some warm, makes you feel nice, warm and fuzzy inside. I guess I don't know. It's an uplifting soundtrack.
I wasn't surprised at all by any of your picks, you guys, but I
Yeah.
am surprised that nobody mentioned Superman, the original.
That's why I just say John Williams, right? Like that's
Yeah,
another
yeah.
John Williams.
Yeah.
Yes. You could throw Superman on there too. Just
That theme is probably one of the most famous of all time. I would say that in Star Wars.
So, are you telling me if I happen to get cast in the movie, just look for John Williams when I'm down there? John, are you here?
I thought you were gonna say I'm gonna have to play the theme song
Well,
as
that
I'm
too.
running.
I just as you're when you're a kid, you have a towel tied around your neck, just running.
Yeah.
I'll just do that on the set.
Have somebody blasting from a boombox or whatever you call it nowadays, the theme song. Yep. And real quick too, another honorable mention I had. I thought it was just an interesting score. I think a lot of people like it as Tron Legacy. It's got that
Oh yeah,
techno vibe. So much different than our picks we had, but I enjoyed that one. Again, it matched the theme of Tron very well. How to Train Your Dragon series. That's another great one. With a lot of the Scottish and all that. Just again, very well fitting for the movie. And this is kind of a cheating a little bit. I mean, you mentioned a few of them, Seth, but this is more of like a soundtrack music artist. But Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
I had that as an honorable mention too.
Yeah.
I have a whole other list, like another 5.
Yeah. It's so hard. It's so hard to get it down. But yeah, that would be kind of my honorable mentions. And I'm missing so many. But
I think I had both soundtracks for the Oh Brother Where Art Thou. That's a really good soundtrack. The blues music in that is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't tell you off the top of my head what song it is, what it's called, but the one guy they pick up, he's like hitchhiking. He's sitting around a fire and he's playing it on guitar.
Yeah.
I love that song. So
his
good.
dad was a famous musician, like the guy and the actor in the movie.
Really?
I could see that. Yeah, he was terrific and fantastic. But the whole soundtrack, I remember listening to it when it came out. Like my family really liked it too. I have some family that has bluegrass. They love bluegrass. So there was those vibes in there, but it also had just good country, like old, good style country back in the day, that kind of on there. So had to throw that as an honorable mention for sure.
Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're missing so many.
Oh yeah,
there's so many we're missing. So if you, the listener, you're like, "What's wrong with you? Why didn't you mention this?" Please be sure to message us. We'll give you a shout out. We want to make sure we hear what you think. What would be your top 5? Even be sure to message us, contact us, and let us know if we got it right or you guys screwed up. Maybe you missed a few here.
Of course so.
All right. Well, that was a blast, guys. That was a lot of fun. So that's our top 5, but let's move into our last segment.
Last drop. Brought to you by
Sticker Mule. For high-quality, customizable stickers, go to our link to get a $10 credit on your first order.
Take it away, Ben.
A Canadian woman has claimed a frozen lump of excrement from a plane passing overhead slipped through the roof of her mother's house. Stephanie Moore said she was awoken by a crashing sound and saw a huge hole in the ceiling in the hallway, less than 10 feet from where she was sleeping. After the incident, she said she found pink insulation, drywall, ceiling material, and shattered bits of wood on the hallway floor in the puddle of water. She went to had a roofer inspect and said it was blue ice that fell from a plane. So just make sure you don't have poo poo falling from a plane and hitting you in the head. That's what I got.
I can't imagine. Oh, we're getting doors flying off of airplanes with the whole Boeing issue and wheels. Is that a fear you have, Seth? One day you're just sleeping and poo comes flying out of the sky and hits your house.
I hate to beat a dead horse here, but it reminded me of Joe Dirt again.
That was another honorable mention, but we didn't mention it.
Oh, great
Not
movie.
for the poo jokes, but the actual soundtrack. Okay, well, there's your public service announcement. Just be aware of falling poo from the sky. Hopefully, will not be coming to a town near you.
Hopefully not.
All right. Well, thank you, Ben. That was
You're welcome.
nice. Appreciate that as
I
always.
have to protect the people.
Yes. Somebody's got to do it, I guess, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, with that being said, let's open it up to Seth. You've mentioned that you got some projects going on. We just want to give this as an opportunity for you. Is there a place people can find you? If you want them to find you, or any projects that you're working on?
Well, I can plug 2 podcasts, Movies at Grandma's House, who is also co-hosting with you, and my other podcast, The Buster's Garage podcast, that you can find on any platform that you stream podcast on. So you can find me there, and you can also find me on YouTube with some music as well. My name, Seth Green.
Cool. Not the actor, though.
No, not yet. You will find that first, but I'll leave it up to you to dig.
All right. Well, yeah, check him out and those podcasts as well. Of course, I'll be biased because that's one podcast I'm also on as well. So be sure to check him out. And then we'll be sure to do our due diligence. So, Ben, why don't you tell everyone where they can find us at?
All right. So we are on Facebook, Instagram. We are on the TikTok. So what's interesting is go on TikTok. There's some videos about Batman. We spotted Batman. So make sure you go on TikTok. They're exclusive to TikTok right now. So you can also contact us at mustachesandcoffee@yahoo.com. If you have any questions or comments, we're at Twitter at Stash and Joe. And as Isaac mentioned, we have a new website, ladxmedia.com/mustaches and coffee. That's how you get a hold of us.
Great. Thank you as always for all that information. That's a lot, but great for ones to be able to find us. There's lots of options out there. So be sure to check us out, subscribe, all that good stuff. Give us a 5-star rating. That way more people will find us, and we're very close to a certain amount of subscribers. So who knows? We might be doing a contest here soon for all of our subscribers. So keep that in mind. Be sure to get the word out. More people will find us, the bigger the prize, is what we always say.
Mm-hmm.
So
that'll do it.
What is this tickety talk you talk of?
You'll have to find out. That's right.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, thank you again, Seth, for being on.
Yeah,
We had a blast. It was great. So much fun. And as we always say, you're welcome back anytime. We'll look forward to your next time on.
Thank you.
All right. That about does it here. But as we always say, don't bash the stash.
I need espresso for the depresso.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, everybody.